Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, and abundance reading for the month of March 2021. I hope you're having a good month so far, because I feel like there's going to be some good changes coming your way, Aquarius, so I hope you're ready. If this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe, because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my Groovy Weight Tarot deck. This is one of my all-time favorites. I will clarify, excuse me, as I always do with my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. And then, Aquarius, I'm going to close out your reading with a brand new Oracle deck that I'm working with this month. It is called the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle, and it's made by Kelly Smith. And I will show you that and share with you the details at the end of this reading. So let's go ahead and get right to it, Aquarius. Like I said, I feel some changes are coming, and they're going to be positive changes, but they're going to be very incremental, where you think that, oh, okay, something's going to happen, and then only so much, and then so much, and then so much. And I'm feeling that really specifically for your sign, and usually that doesn't happen before the cards come out. So let's see what shows up. All right, so what do we need to know? Okay, I'm gonna assume that went, well, it went sideways, but I'm gonna take it in an upright position. Okay, what do we need to know for the sign of Aquarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2021? What do we need to know? Okay, so as we move into the new month of March, Aquarius, you're going to be doing a lot of solitude, independent work. And I can tell you that because of the Hermit card that came out first. That was the first card that flipped over. And when that card comes up right away, that means that you are kind of doing your own thing. And it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off quite nicely, actually. But the thing is, though, is that you're still kind of struggling with some things that are holding you back. I can tell you that because we got the Five of Pentacles here. Five of Pentacles is that card where sometimes we just don't have the mindset, or we fall into habitual patterns that continue to sabotage us in some way. Now, this is not something that is unique to you, Aquarius. You know, everybody deals with this in one way or another, but you don't deal with this on the regular. Excuse me. This is something that comes up for you periodically. It's like you have really good stretches of time where you're unstoppable. And then something happens, or somebody says something, or you come across something, and then suddenly you get a little shaken. It's like you kind of doubt. It's like something happened, and your confidence kind of wavers temporarily. And sometimes that can have an emotional connection, or it can cause certain emotions to come up. And that's what I think I'm seeing here. Because I have the Three of Swords next for you. Now, as this relates to your money, is sometimes this can kind of get in the way of you losing momentum. So you're going to have to really pay attention to that, because you're working independently, you're doing your own thing, but something kind of knocks you off your game temporarily, and it kind of makes you a little emotional. When we're emotional, things just kind of, things get cloudy. You know, it's hard to stay focused. It's hard to make solid decisions. It's hard to really, get in there and do the work we need to do if we have stuff coming up that is kind of it's kind of forcing us to lose track. Next, we have the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands is a card sometimes of discouragement, and I'm not surprised to see that after these three cards here. Now, like I said, this is something that is temporary, so you're going to have to just kind of, just kind of keep moving forward, even if you don't feel like it, even if things just aren't kind of energetically sitting right with you, especially as it relates to your work and also your creativity. Sometimes I feel like you are very creative, Aquarius, but for some reason you kind of hold back because of fear of judgment, or maybe something hasn't happened in the timeline that you expected it to. And so you get discouraged, maybe you get frustrated, and maybe you just give up. But I'm telling you, all of that is going to work itself out. But you have to be the driver here. You have to be the one that says, okay, I understand I might be going through some stuff. I might be dealing with some things. But I'm going to really focus on just getting through it and doing what needs to be done. Now, we have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Now, these are two other highly charged emotional cards. Now, the Queen of Cups, sometimes this card shows up when she's a little bit insensitive, when she's in the reverse. The Knight of Cups means that there is an offer you were expecting, and for some reason it doesn't come through. Not because you did anything wrong, but sometimes the person could be unreliable, or maybe just someone overpromised and underdelivered. I see that a lot with this card. It's like someone gets your hopes up, and someone, tells you, yeah, this is going to be the perfect job, this is going to be the perfect business, perfect opportunity, you're all excited, you're on board, and then you dig a little deeper and you're like, oh, this is it. And that could be a little bit of the energy that we're playing with here. Now, the Queen of Cups, like I said, this is a card of insensitivity, or this could be a card too that represents kind of a little bit of indifference. It's not like she's wholeheartedly embracing and in love, but at the same time, she doesn't hate anything. It's just, she's kind of neutral when it comes to her perspective on things. So, your first week of March 2021, Aquarius, is going to be, it's going to be a little, I want to say fluctuating, in the sense that you're going to feel empowered, then you're going to feel frustrated, then you're going to feel a little bit, I'm not too sure about this, and then you're going to, kind of have some expectations that don't necessarily get met. But let's continue on and see what else is showing up for you, Aquarius, as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of March 2021. What do we need to know for the sign of Aquarius? Okay. All right. Exactly what I was talking about when we first started here. You've got things happening very incrementally, okay? And you've got some things that are really going to, I want to say that things are going to happen almost like in an unexpected way, but at the same time you see the signs, okay? And we'll get more into that here, because the Fool card in the reverse talks about not being naive and not ignoring the warning signs. And so it's not that you're, not seeing what's happening, but at the same time, you're still kind of unprepared for it. But let's start here with the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords talks about travel over water. The other thing it talks about gracefully moving away from something. You could be leaving a job, you could be leaving a relationship, maybe even like you might be moving to a new city or traveling to a new country even. Usually this card shows up when it's international travel, or it talks about taking a trip and giving yourself some distance and some space from something. The High Priestess is a beautiful card because it talks about you tapping into your intuition and really trusting your inner gut, knowing what's right for you, knowing what's wrong for you. You're going to be really, really grounded in that during the second week of March. So, feel confident in that. You know the right thing to do and the right time to do it. Now, the Knight of Swords talks about speed, so things are going to start picking up very, very quickly. Again, things kind of happen in a stepping kind of way. This is again something that you're going to have to really make sure you pay attention to how you're feeling, because your emotions could really get all over the place, and you really want to make sure that you are not allowing your emotions to, again, take you off track and take you off focus, especially when it comes to things as it relates to money, finances, business, work, all those things. The Fool, which means you're not being naive. You see things coming, and then things really kind of come to a head. It's like, the Tower talks about things that really have to be broken down. And sometimes things have to be broken down because you have to rebuild, you have to reestablish, you have to clear out the old and make way for the new. Now, the other thing about the Tower too is sometimes this is something that really just hits you out of the blue, and it's very unexpected. Again, you may have seen the warning signs, but you did not think things were going to happen in the way that they did. Okay, and because we're talking about money, I'm getting the sense here that you really need to pay attention to your finances. You really need to make sure that you have everything in order, because you don't want any unexpected surprises at this time. That's the thing about the Tower, is that sometimes you see something and you think something is happening in a certain way, and then things totally go left. And not that you weren't prepared, but at the same time, you're like, well, how the hell did this happen? So what I'm seeing here is that use your head, trust your gut. Your intuition is leading you in the right direction, because when things start to get kind of a little wonky and a little crazy, you're going to have a good framework on how to solve it or how to fix it or what your next move is going to be. Again, because we are talking about money and we're talking about work, this is probably something that you can't really predict and something that you can't really control, but at the same time you can put yourself in a position to where you can bounce back or where you can recover. All right, let's move into the second half of March, because it looks like you've got a powerful first half here. You've got a lot of shifts happening, Aquarius, and you also have some big changes coming. All right, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Aquarius as it relates to, yes, I knew it, money, wealth, finances, wow, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2021. Interesting that you got this Tower card twice. All right, Aquarius, well, big changes are coming, but it's like you're making headway, you're breaking through. The other thing too is that I see here that once things really start to kind of shift for you, you may not feel like you really do know which way to go. You may feel a little temporarily stuck. That's interesting, because I'm not picking up on that by the cards here. It's like I'm getting a very clear vibe that you are going to know what to do, but maybe you're just not feeling like you can act on your hunches. Maybe you're not trusting your intuition for some reason, so you're feeling a little stuck. The good thing about the Devil card, which means, bondage, but you're breaking free of that. There's nothing holding you back. There is nothing tangible or intangible that is preventing you from moving forward. You have released anything that is holding you back emotionally, spiritually, physically, psychologically even. You just really want to make sure that you are trusting yourself and trusting what you know, and then being okay to trust and say there's certain things that you don't know. Death card talks about positive change. This is a huge change, and it's probably going to be a result of whatever this unexpected thing, this unexpected circumstance that shows up for you, probably once we move into the second half of March. The thing is you're going to come out ahead. The Death card is always a positive, life-transforming change. Now, the only thing about the Death card is, again, sometimes this means that it happens in a very profound way, or it happens as the result of something we didn't expect, which is what I'm picking up on here. I'm feeling like something unexpected is going to cause a big, huge life change for you. And the thing is it's not going to be anything bad. The Death card in the upright position means it's positive, means every part of your life is going to benefit. It may not feel that way at the time when it happens, but when all is said and done, you're going to see that you are better for it. I'm sure we all have heard the phrase, things don't happen to you, things happen for you. And this is a clear case of that right here. Four of Pentacles, again, pay attention to the finances, pay attention to the budget too. Whenever this card shows up, it means that we really have to examine our invoices, our statements, our checkbooks. We need to really look at the numbers, make sure everything matches up. We have to be meticulous with the money. At this time, you cannot afford to mismanage or miscalculate anything because every penny matters, and you have to be aware of that at this time. Finally, we have the Eight of Swords. Again, this talks about self-limiting beliefs. Now, the thing about the Eight of Swords, sometimes is our perspective. It's not necessarily the reality of how things are, but it's how we are seeing things through our own personal filters, how we're seeing things through our own lens. So, really examine how you see certain situations as it relates to your money and as it relates to your work. Because when you do, you're going to see that maybe what you see isn't entirely accurate, or maybe it's just because you're in the situation, it's hard to be objective. But I have a feeling you're going to work this out. Let's see what else shows up for you. All right, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Aquarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2021. Okay, very nice. All right, now I'm starting to pick up some more insight as far as what this big unexpected surprise thing is. It could be something of a personal nature, or it could be like an interaction with someone. And I say that because I got the Ten of Swords here. The Ten of Swords, this is the card of someone the word broken promise is coming. Now, I know most people look at this and they say, oh, that's the card of betrayal. That's the card of, backstabbing. And yeah, to some degree it is. But also, I'm getting the sense that this is a broken heart. It's not so much of a conniving, evil person trying to just do something, nasty. This is something more of a broken heart. It's like a deep disappointment. It's like a deep sadness that someone really let you down, Aquarius. And so that could be kind of what the impetus is of all of this stuff that's going on here. And where I talked about at the beginning of your reading, how things happen in a very incremental way, which means, things happen and then things happen and then things happen and then they happen, okay? The good thing is we've got the Eight of Wands, which means that even though you may be feeling some type of disappointment here, things are going to move quickly. It's like you're going to be sad, but then it's like, oh wow, stuff is picking up. I don't have time to really wallow and grieve or dwell on something negative. I've got to make this money. I've got to do the work. I've got to handle my business. I've got to service my customers, whatever the case may be. Okay. Two of Swords means you make a very important decision. You are faced with a decision and you make it. And you don't have any hesitation. You don't have any worry. You know what you need to do and you make the right decision, okay? So trust Trust your first instinct here. Again, I can't say that enough because it is going to lead you in the right direction, especially as it relates to your finances, to your work, and to your money. Six of Cups, someone from your past is showing up. It's going to be a very pleasant, happy reconnection. This is going to be something as a result of this unexpected thing we've got going on here. Someone from your past that you know, or even something that was very pleasant, something that was very loving, and something that was highly emotionally charged for you in a good way is going to reappear by the end of the month. This could be, you know, an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Could be a long-lost friend you haven't heard of. Could be an old colleague or coworker. Maybe someone from college. Maybe someone from high school you were close to. Whatever the case may be, it's going to be a beautiful reconnection, and it's really going to help you move forward as you kind of navigate your way through this month. We also have the Judgment card. This is another good card because it means that positive things are happening, positive decisions are working out in your favor. This is allowing you to kind of be reborn, kind of be reinvigorated again. The other good thing about the Judgment card is that you really see that you get to start over, which is very interesting because it looks like you're kind of going through some things, but it looks like an opportunity to really either start over or to start something new or to kind of birth something new. This is really, really good. And if that's not applicable to you, the other thing about the Judgment card is that something really works out in your favor. Again, it may not look like it, or it may not feel like it at the time, but when all is said and done, you're going to come out better, richer, further ahead, whatever. Finally, we got the Queen of Wands here. This also means some good news happening as it relates to your work. The Queen of Wands, she's a very grounded, stable energy, okay? She is someone that, you know, you don't have to worry about her because she's very, very much what you see is what you get. And this is a really good card because it means that nothing is going to really happen to kind of rock the boat, so to speak. This is very, very grounding. This is very, very stable. And when I look at your cards, Aquarius, I feel like this is really going to be the end game for you. That when all is said and done, as you're moving through the month, as you're, you know, figuring stuff out, you're going to be really, really solid in where you move to next. However that works out, but especially as it relates to, you know, job and business and money, I just feel like when you are going to get to the end of March of 2021, you're going to feel really supported in a way that you probably haven't felt in a very long time. So Aquarius, you've got a good month ahead. It may be a little bumpy in some points, but when you get through the month, you're going to feel like, you know, some good things have been happening. Some growth has occurred. Some change has happened for the better, and you've kind of, like I said, maneuvered through that in a very graceful way. All right, so I have got these. I have the name here, the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle cards. And these are, like I said, a brand new deck that I am working with this month, and I really like them. The artwork is beautiful, and you can see that they're very direct and to the point. So Aquarius, you've got card number 73, the Energy Healer. Yes, your natural ability to heal yourself and others is needed now. You know, that makes sense. You could be healing some things, not only in your life, but in the life of people around you. That's a very powerful thing. So I hope you embrace that to the fullest, Aquarius. All right, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, drop them down below. I want to thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.